Hello, welcome once more to another of Mike's Hidden Corners. To be in the Dean Graveyard in Edinburgh to talk about another favourite character of mine, to be Sir James Steele. Now just look at this amazing bronze bust here figure. Unfortunately, 10 years ago somebody came and stole what were two lions, elegant lions on either side, in the middle of the night, and they have not been able to get these back for garden sculpture or something like this. Now this man is like the Dick Whittington of Scotland. He was very much a rag to riches story. He was the son of a tenant farmer from Cambusnethan in Lanarkshire, and he was also an apprentice mason. His early kind of dabblings into land ownership and building weren't very successful, and he became bankrupt as a young man, lost all his money, and he decided to start again. So he came to Edinburgh as a young workman. And then he was quite speculative. He was able to get loans from various people, and he bettered himself hugely. He has a lot to do with the development of the West End of Edinburgh. He bought the Dean and Learmonth estates. Alexander Learmonth, descendant of the original owner John, found himself bankrupt because he was a bit of a party animal, and James was able to benefit from that. He was into building. He was known as the construction king, and he also ended up on the board of various coal mining, mineral wealth, as well as iron ore. So he had his finger in a lot of pies. So he started to put in what was called intensive building of flats, of tenement houses into these areas, and some of them are quite luxurious today. So it was housing for all levels of society, but he was very much a social improver. He was a politician, he was a liberal. He believed that places should have healthy running water as well as internal toilets, and he married this lady called Barbara, and his dabblings in politics resulted in him gaining the position of Lord Provost, which in Scotland is Lord Mayor. One of his early involvements was in the second tram system, which was a steam-fired powered cable system, very similar to what existed in San Francisco in the early 20th century. Very successful from that, and on inquiry he said that he was earning £80,000 a year, and that was profit. So back then you can just imagine how wealthy and how powerful he was. Now I've got a picture of Sir James here, an early photograph of him here. Looks quite, there's something about the eyes. I think he looks quite a decent character, but quite a strong personality also. So this is Sir James here. As time went on, his wealth increased hugely. He was very community minded, being a liberal, and developed what we know as the Dean Bowling Club, which is down in Cumley Bank, which was an area which he developed with his intensive housing, but he believed there should be open spaces for people to enjoy their leisure time. So he was very much an enlightened figure. Now he married this lady called Barbara, and she became Lady Barbara Steele because he got his knighthood from King Edward VII for all his achievements. And after his death, Barbara went on in a very enlightened, progressive way in her ideas of social improvement, also very similar to her husband. And I can show you this picture of Lady Barbara Steele here. Now, James died before her, and after that, she was very much conscious of no representation in terms of taxation, because women, of course, were taxed like men, and she was a suffragette. She was out demonstrating for the vote, and she was the first woman who applied to be elected to Edinburgh Council. Unfortunately, unsuccessfully, but she did make that attempt. She wouldn't sit down and put up with the situation. She refused to pay her taxes, and she was quite a wealthy woman. So the bailiffs came, took her furniture out of her house to the Market Cross in the High Street of Edinburgh, which was a big focus of entertainment for many of the locals who had only seen her in this guise as a very powerful wife of the Lord Provost, and it was auctioned off. 5,000 people turned out to see that. But she made a great statement about women's rights and had a lot to do with women finally achieving the vote. She married again and she went to South Africa, died there, and that is where she is interred. So today there is this huge obelisk, which at one point was the second tallest monument to anyone here in the Dean graveyard to Sir James Steele, one of my favourite characters from Edinburgh's not so distant past. So I hope you'll join me again on another of Mike's Hidden Corners. Hope you enjoyed it. So all the best for now. Thank you, bye.